this again. Rubbish. Voidwoken. Those are the same beasts that sank our ship. Damn, they made it to shore. I thought these bloody collars were supposed to keep those things at bay. That's Magister Jalen. He wasn't so bad on the ship, at least. Poor fella. Junk. Boring.
You spot a strange lizard gazing over the water with a steady, malcontent stare. His skin is of a bright, blood-red color. Could he be... Yes, you recognize him from the ship. It would seem you're not the only one who survived the tentacles of the deep. The lizard turns about with the graceful ease of a dancer, or a duelist. You lock eyes with his, two smouldering embers that sizzle your very soul.
You're glad, are you? How very curious. For word has reached me through a very sour grapevine indeed, that you turned your back on your fellow passengers, left us to fend for ourselves. So much easier, isn't it, to look out for oneself alone? Sorry is a word for the weak. Stand by your actions. They were actually entirely justified as far as I'm concerned. Besides, I wasn't fishing for an apology. I was merely making a point. About oneself. Alone. So, if there's nothing further... I'm sure I don't mean to sound condescending, but I had thought it quite self-evident I was gazing out over the waves.
He sighs dramatically.
Tell me, what do you see when you cast your glance over this ocean? A consciousness, very good. And the water it may drown in. Life and death. Why not?
He looks out over the water once more, and so do you. A few tranquil moments pass as the waves lap against your thoughts.
As for myself, when I consider this vast expanse before us, I see an empire. I see continents dotted with mighty cities, and shimmering along the soft curve of the sea's horizon, I picture the palaces that formed my paradise. Lost. What do you mean, what do I mean? I mean just what I say. I had a very actual empire that I lost.
Suddenly, having all the air of being deeply offended, he stares at you with utter incredulity.
Well, don't just stand there gawking like an ape at an abacus. Or do you really mean to tell me you don't know who I am? Oh, may the seven have mercy on their own creation. I am the Red Prince, the All-Conqueror, the World-Tamer, the spouse of the sun. Of course you know me.
There's a brief moment's pause, during which his grandiloquent pose deflates ever so slightly.
That said, I suppose I must own up to the fact that I find myself rather in between all-conquering and world-taming opportunities at the moment. The grandeur that is my fate has hit a bit of a snag. But never you worry. For the throne I was destined, and my throne I shall have. Truly. A kind offer indeed. Even if it comes from the very person that left me and others to rot on a sinking ship. You do look able, though. Despite your selfish tendencies. Tendencies to which I'm no stranger, truth be told. Fine, I accept. On one condition. For reasons I'll not disclose right now, it is imperative that I should meet with a dreamer, one of the mystics of my kind. I've reason to believe one of them may be present on this island. Promise me we'll look for him, and I'll extend you the blessing of my company. Jolly good. So, now that that's settled, first things first. Even if you are as versed in the art of eloquence as I am, that our swords will be doing a lot of the talking from here on out goes without saying. As a born fighter, I prefer the perfection of the blade myself. But I'm well acquainted with the secrets of magic, and yes, even subterfuge. What say you? Wizardry is embedded in my nature as deeply as the instincts to breathe and drink and mate. The dominion over fire suits me best, truth be told, but there is no school of magic I cannot master. Very well. Onwards, then, to victory or death.
The Red Prince nods and gives you a smile that wavers ever so delicately between courtesy and contempt.
Now, as you're aware, you'll be travelling with a prince. Proper forms of address include Your Majesty, Your Royal Highness, or if you're feeling particularly frivolous, Milord. As your luck would have it, I seem to be fresh out of luggage, so you won't be required to carry my belongings. Of course, there are other forms of protocol to bear in mind, but I'll see to it you'll pick up the rest as we go. So, without further ado, let us be off!
This again.
black cat. A herald of wisdom.
The cat's eyes are clouded and grey, but it stares at you with acute intensity. Its eyes clear, and it shakes its head, confused. The cat's eyes are clouded and grey. Its eyes...
Hey, mister. It's a lot nicer here than that stinking boat, huh? Sure wish more of us could have been saved. Though, I did see one of them wringing out their tunic at the shore a few hours ago, so I guess some of them survived at least. Ooh, that's a pretty one. The crew.
Boring. This again?
At noon exactly, didn't I? On.
She's gone. Gone.
Come on, man. I can't wait all day.
Send us your children, your supplicants, and you divine.
I don't think I ain't watching. That's your fifth through just to this road.
She's gone. What of?
Yeah, what of?
Greetings, child. Frightful far from home, ain't ya? Visited your ancient empire myself a long time ago. The Divine's light sure shines on your kind. Troubles me to hear that. Now that the Divine has gone, our world's duller, darker than ever before. When he comes back, he'll bring a gentler world with him. Greetings, child. I find myself in your so-called divine lands, yet I feel his absence deep in my heart all the same. No disrespect, eh? I'm used to calling all the divine's offspring that way. Absent though our father may be.
Grab it in your gobblers, the both of you!
If you don't like the game, Topsy, you can fold.
No, just 'cause a pair of you are filthy cheating liars don't mean I can't beat you.
A little respect for Griff's right hand, Topsy girl.
Lest the void overtake and devour us all.
Fellas got more right hands than an octopus.
That's it. I call court. Pay up. Looky here, mates. A fresh face. We love fresh faces, don't we? Oh, yes, we do. Why don't you join us in a round of cards? First hands on the house. Chuff to you, Chief. Here are your cards. You're up first.
You glance at your hand. 2 purple monarchs. A hard hand to beat.
Quite the hand, Freshie. Unfortunately, 2 is less than 5, and that's how many purples I've got. I reckon that makes me the winner. I'll be having your fee then. I'm sure the Reds told you. No one gets along without paying the interment fee. So, let's make this easy. Empty your pockets. Don't think your connections will get here in time to save you if you don't pay up now. Go on then. Whatever pennies you've got in your pocket ain't worth my breath. But don't you go telling Griff I was soft on you. Another inmate, but you wouldn't guess it. Runs this place like he's Dallas herself. Shouldn't be too hard to find him in the kitchen, but he doesn't take too kindly to your kind. Hope you're behaving yourself, Freshie.
I don't think I ain't watching. That's your 5th blue jester this round. What is it, weirdo? Your coin's gathering in a cave to the east. Head there if you want to keep your face in one piece. Whatever. And say hello to Ruler for me when you get there, eh?
Huh? What you doing here? Didn't Griff already take one of them ears of yours? That's so? Oh, hey, you're right. Reckon the lizard I'm thinking of was got rid of last week. Probably for the best. Griff cut him real good.
What are you after, Pipsqueak? Well, going around poking Griff's guard ain't the way to do it. In fact, I'd go ask him if he's got a spot for you on his team. Joining up's the best way to survive, if that's what you're after.
Huh? What are you doing here? Thought Griff had you making the rounds inside. Lucky you. See you later, Flora.
That's your 5th blue jester this round.
What of him?
Yeah, what of him?
Ah, grab it in, you gobblers, the both of you.
It's time to accept reality.
You there? I'm looking for an inmate. He wears a large bronze ring with a dragon stamped into it. Name of Migo. Have you seen him? None of your business, inmate. Find me if you hear of a Migo. Otherwise, don't waste my time. Where is he?
Pipe down, Flora. It's time to accept reality. gone. Gone.
Brachus Rex, king, sorcerer, and scholar, though not quite a gentleman.
Brachus Rex, for it is he, stares stonily out to sea. The statue responds to you. You feel it reach out to you, into you.
This won't be of any use.
The child has a small mirror in his hands. He holds it up at angles, inspecting his eyes, his chin, the crown of his head. He spots you, and his arms snap to his sides.
I'm not supposed to talk to lizards. Really? Like, what kind of stories? A dragon that marries an elf? That sounds silly. Can I hear it anyway?
You want me to tell the tale of the dragon, but despite your best efforts, you notice that your knowledge of legends and monsters is somehow upsetting the child.
Are you a sorcerer? One of those guys that brings the bad void things here?
The child screws up his face and looks at you hard. He lifts his mirror up to his nose, closes one eye, and looks at himself again.
I don't see any source on you or me. I guess they're wrong or crazy. No one cares where I go. They know I can't leave the island. It's nicer out here than inside anyway. They're gone now. Their Majesties took them already. I guess now they're cured. And maybe they're waiting for me back at home. But you didn't die. I guess I am, but it's just normal to be scared. Nowhere isn't scary. There isn't anywhere safer. That's what I mean. You'll see.
The child has a small mirror in his hands.
I'm not supposed to talk to strangers. Hi, Losa. I'm Tam. Are you a sorcerer too?
The child screws up his face and looks at you hard. He holds up his little mirror and peers into it, inspecting your reflection. His eyes go wide. The mirror falls and shatters on the rocks below.
I have to go.
The boy begins to cry.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Quite right. Do seek my counsel. I highly recommend it. I intend to rule an empire one day, not a tiny outcropping in the sea, lording over gulls and guppy fish. To that end, I suggest we focus on the obvious. A farewell to Fort Joy and a hello to the mainland. Of course, I'd much appreciate it if we managed to find a dreamer first. There was a small incident which prompted my many rivals to move against me. Technically, they had the letter of the law on their side. Such a nuisance, the law. Quite necessary to keep the common in line, of course, but One such as myself it should exempt as a matter of course. By the rabble and for the rabble. You're one of those, are you? Remember that by the rabble and for the rabble, sorcerers are being exiled to hell pits like these. We'll see if you'll still trumpet the virtues of law when its executors turn to us with malicious intent. I hardly know you as yet. Let's leave some mystery in the relationship, shall we? We can exchange criminal records later. There isn't much to say, but for the fact that I simply must. It's the portent of it all. I can feel it. The revelation will be world-changing. I just know it. And justified it is too. You'll be a witness to wonders, I assure you. As certain as the sun, such is my conviction. I will be, then grow beyond being. Happy, are you? And that is the truth? How curious to leave someone to fend for themselves in the face of death, then express happiness at their unexpected survival. Yet here I am. I stared down death only to find myself staring at a two-faced you. I suppose that puppy-eager expression of yours could be read as sincerity. Very well, then. Not that it matters, really, for I've the distinct feeling I wasn't meant to die today. There was something in the water. A voice made of air that soothed my flooding lungs. There was sudden light, warmth, life. Truly, how intriguing. To hear a voice whilst drowning is a rather specific delusion to share, is it not? Still, I wonder if...
He hesitates.
Are you a religious person? I'm rather relieved to hear it. Religious persons tend to be all too self-important in their supposed humility. As for myself, I perform the ancient rites of prayer and ceremony with a kind of languid indulgence. After all, when one is revered by many as a living god oneself, public deprecation would be needlessly self-important as well, wouldn't you say?
Leave me alone, please. You're not a real person. There's a thing wearing your skin. I saw it.
He shrieks and recoils from your touch.
Leave me alone, please. Stop it. You're not a person. You're just wearing a person. Don't hurt me, please. Go away. Go away.
Here lies a nameless inmate. May he find the peace denied him in life in the Hall of Echoes.
I wonder where this leads.
This again.
As the alcove opens up, you see the same skeleton that you met on the boat before it sank. He's still not wearing his mask. He's leaning over a corpse, prodding and pulling at the skin of its face.
Bugger. How on earth am I supposed to... Oh. Perhaps...
Skeletal fingers reach down and grip the skin of the dead man's face, pulling sharply upwards. After a few more tugs at the man's cheeks, the skeleton relents, letting the head drop to the ground with a damp thud.
Damnation. That stuck fast. I wonder, does the beard act as some form of anchor? Ah! No! Stay back! Don't... Oh, it's you. I must admit I'm surprised. Perhaps you're more buoyant than I suspected. Why, its face, of course. What other use would I have for some rotting corpse? A face that seems rather stubbornly attached to his skull. I would normally employ a tool to delicately but viciously rip the face from the body. I could then craft a mask to hide my bone. But as I lack such a tool...
The skeleton grabs the corpse by the cheeks and pulls hard, grunting in frustration as the body's skin holds firm.
Because my own was stolen from me. And the idea of being chased across Rivellon by every idiot with a torch does not appeal. Oh, get away! Monster! Hide the children! Oh. You are simple beasts. And you simply do not like my... Well, not my kind, but those that look like me. So, if I am to traverse this land, I will need a mask to disguise my features. Simply put, I am an Eternal, and you are not. You have my sympathies. Indeed, no one seems to have the good taste to be. My people are rather absent. At least from this realm. As for the others, well, There is an excavation site at the Black Pit's oil fields. Perhaps there I'll find my answers. A companion? After you left the others to die on that ship? Hardly actions that instill confidence. Then again, I am somewhat isolated here. I suppose, circumstances being what they are, it could be advantageous. You seem more at ease in this world than I. A guide would certainly be useful. Excellent. While we are conversing, perhaps you notice that I am rather skilled in, well, all things. Of course, the arcane arts are my little speciality, but being a brilliant wizard does not mean I cannot handle blade or bow. So, which do you require for this enterprise of yours? I could do that with one hand behind my spine. Now, shall we get on? There is rather a lot to see. Splendid. Very well. Let's be off. Is it not enough that you travel with me? Must you speak too? Go on then, bark away. Let's see if we can find any method in it. Well, I thought a brief swim in the sea, lying in the sun for a while, and maybe read a nice book. Or perhaps, and this is just a thought, we could find my mask and escape this wretched island. Ah, this is perhaps the first intelligent question you have asked. After all, one should always try to learn from one's betters. My people are a race far beyond anything that exists in the world today. We seek to master the secrets of the universe. We craft wonders to last through the ages, long after your crude tools have rusted to nothing. I do not know. There are rumors that some have been found at the Black Pits, an oil field on Reaper's Coast. I was trying to uncover the truth when I was waylaid by these magisters. But wherever the artifacts of my people are, I will find them. We have not simply vanished into thin air. There is a great variety among our people. Some are tall and lithe, others short and muscled. Some come in a variety of eye-catching colors. Others you can barely see at all. This is what makes you such an abomination, you see. You almost look exactly like every other human out there, just as every lizard looks like every other lizard. Walking through this world is as repulsively bland as staring at a wall for a century. After a while, the very sight of you disgusts me. No offense. Of course. No, I should not. Not yet. Not until I know what truly befell my people. And, after all, I am still here, despite the Voidwoken's best efforts. Ignorant! I dare say I have a better knowledge of this world than any creature living in it. Oh, I may be missing some social mores or be unaware of what king waged which war, but why nitpick? Your history is an interminably dull list of mortals that were born, achieved nothing of worth, and then died. Certainly one may have expanded his kingdom, or another invented some way of pickling fish, but what does it matter? Where will your kingdoms be in 100 years? In 1,000. They will all be dust, along with each and every one of your great heroes. Your people and nations come and go, mayflies screaming their importance at a universe that cannot listen. But the universe is always there. The laws that govern your states change over centuries, but the laws of the world... Even when my people walked this land, a dropped apple still fell to the ground. I have yet to see the mortal king that can decree all apples must fall up from their trees, or order fire to produce cold instead of heat. No, these laws stretch to infinity. Understanding them lets you understand the world. That is knowledge worth having. Everything else is arguing over who has built the prettiest sandcastle as the waves creep closer. The Mask of the Shapeshifter? In my time, it was nothing more than a novelty. A toy, really. I crafted one for my child once. She spent the day trying to convince me that she was her mother, even though the face I used looked nothing like her. Of course, now that toy could be the difference between life and... well, it makes a difference. With that mask, I can shapeshift and walk through this world looking like any other simple mortal. I could look like a lizard, a dwarf, a human, any creature whose face I can procure. It certainly makes traveling through towns easier. Fear? Please. Why would I fear these creatures? It's a practical choice, nothing more. Moving through this world is so much easier when you don't have to lecture some torch-wielding lunatics on the dangers of an open flame. Oh, it's quite simple. One just acquires a face, a source orb, and combines the two to make a face mask. Combining several of these single face masks, along with a source orb, will produce a Mask of the Shapeshifter. Frankly, I'm amazed everyone isn't doing it. Trust you bloody-minded beasts to turn a child's trinket into a wicked purpose. People like you are the reason it must be recovered. I am using the mask to keep myself safe from the violence of this world. Who knows what evil it could do in the hands of some mortal witch? Oh, of course there are. How many hundreds of thousands of you people have died over the years? Almost all of them seem to have been disposed of while still wearing perfectly serviceable faces. It's a terrific waste. Still, without the proper tool to remove the face from a corpse, I cannot take advantage of the many cadavers you're providing. So if you happen across anything that seems capable of ripping a face off a body, please do let me know. Indeed I did, unlike the rest of your comrades, whom I believe you left to drown. I had rather hoped that your people would be less crude than the other races I have observed. But no. Quite the opposite, in fact. If you're anything to judge them by, they may be the worst of the lot. Well, whatever helps you sleep at night. Regardless, further study will be required. In fact...
The skeleton pulls a notebook from his robes and starts scribbling. After a moment, he pauses and looks back to you.
Sorry, do carry on. Just act as you do in your natural environment. Simply pretend I'm not here.
Quite right. Do seek my counsel. I highly recommend it. I intend to rule an empire one day. To that end, I suggest... Of course, I'd much appreciate it if we managed to find... Quite right. Do seek my counsel. I highly recommend it.
Is it not enough that you travel with me? Go on then, bark away. Let's see if we can find any method in it. Well, I thought a brief swim in the sea, or perhaps, and this is just a thought, we could find...
You hear a small whimpering sound from behind a basket. You peer behind it and find a small human child holding her knees and trembling. You hear a small whimpering sound from behind a basket. You peer behind it and find a small human child. The child quiets and seems comforted by your presence. She looks up at you with curious eyes.
There are monsters here. Lizard ones and real ones. It's really scary. And I miss my ma and pa. Master was a lizard. She sent us here. Me, ma and pa. She was not a nice lady. Lizards aren't nice ladies. It's their fault I'll never see ma and pa again. How do you know? You're really nice. I like you. You can have this. I found it outside, but I can't read it yet. That's next year, and then I'll learn it.
The child smiles. She starts tracing small shapes, hearts and stars and diamonds into the dirt.
Everything has a heart, except lizards, maybe. Maybe they do. I don't know. The waterfall has a heart made of a giant diamond, see?
Get out! You are not welcome here. Go, she-pig!
She eyes you suspiciously.
Please, please, just go. You hear me, human. Leave. Psst. Go, get out! You are not welcome here. Go, man-pig! This is my mistake. You are no pig. I am no bull. Please, just leave us. Where is she? You go with us. Who are you? Are you from the shelter? She says nothing of another. Fire, alas! She is so late!
She leans back from you and glares.
All right, Ancient One. But Magister Ratuza is overdue. She promises to come at noon. We're afraid to stay, afraid to leave. She says there is a shelter in the marshes outside the fort. She says she brings us there first. She knows a safe path. We wait for a boat, and then we go. Wherever we make a new home. Atusa is different. She does not believe in this place, in their bishop. She will come, and she will take us away from here. It is wiser than waiting here, but I cannot leave the little one alone. She is mine. Please, you must tell us what you find. Atusa is our last hope to leave this place.
She hides now. Maybe you meet her if you're gentle. I find her in the camp. Her parents were already taken. I am the only elf with a human child, I think. But she is mine. She lives in me. I protect her now.
What's this? I found something. One must put in due effort if one is to reap the proper reward. What's happening to these turtles? They're transforming. This again